is your morning brief for Tuesday, April 9th. Crescent Point stock tacks on another 12% gain on Monday. So Crescent Point, we have been saying, is just starting to look good again. It's been literally years since this thing has looked okay. Q4, they took an impairment charge, and now the stock's starting to react, and I think that's exactly what they needed to do. And cash flow is just edging up. Return on capital is just edging up, and it's looking more interesting nowadays. So we did report actually on it last night, so that's posted now. Have a look at that for a few more details. We've also been talking a lot about Yangarra Resources, which tacked on 4.9% on Monday, and it's up 17% month to date. So there's some evidence that oil and gas are actually coming back. Now, as much as I think renewable energies are the way of the future, this is not a simple process, or it won't be, and probably not even in our lifetimes are we going to get rid of fossil fuels. So they still have a long run. As long as prices can stay reasonable, they're still very viable, and depending on what you consider long term, 30 years, we're not going to be off fossil fuels in 30 years. New report also out on NFI Group, formerly New Flyer. Kind of the premise there, I just don't think it's as bad as the market has been indicating, but have a look at some of the details. Okay, Boeing cuts 737 MAX production. That is the plane that did go down in 2 air crashes in the last, 6 months. We said it was not a buying opportunity when the shares cratered on at least the second crash, and still not ready. They're cutting production on that, which I was actually a little stunned. So orders, there's been a few cancellations, but not that many. I think they'll work their way through it. I just, first of all, thought Boeing was expensive before this crash. It crashes, the stock crashes, I forget exactly the number, but it was 10, maybe 12%. And I just don't think it's enough, and I think this is a more difficult problem than we were led to believe, at least at first. It's not a simple software. There's more going on here. It's going to take some work. The reputation's been cut. I think we're going to get a better opportunity to buy the shares. Let's just bottom line that. Walmart plans to add thousands of robot helpers. This is kind of interesting news, but it's just more news and evidence about automation, and it's bad news for workers, but that's the wave of the future, and we'll have to figure out how to deal with this as a society as we automate more and more jobs. Banking CEOs to testify in Congress before the House Financial Committee today. I just put this in here because it is a headline out there, but this is much ado about nothing. They're still talking about what happened back in 2008, 2009, and the banks are going to beat their chest and say, oh, we're so much safer now, and we put in all these controls and higher capital requirements, and they'll beat each other up, but nothing's going to come out of it. So I don't think it has any effect on the market whatsoever. Futures are in negative territory, but just trying to work their way to positive. So we're shooting this pretty early today, just before 8 o'clock, and we'll see if they can turn positive before the open. But they're definitely down. I can see red on the screen there, but they're getting close. It kind of looks like they're moving towards the turning positive line. Virginia Cavaliers are the NCAA men's national champions. Game was quite a swing back and forth, and ultimately the Virginia Cavaliers won it in overtime. It was like what a national championship is supposed to be about. There's always a few bad calls in there, though, that you wonder if one foul here and there could have went the other way, or an out of bounds tip or something could have went the other way. It was close, though. It was a good effort, and it was another great March Madness tournament. All right, that's your morning brief for April 9th. I know there's some gems out there. Let's go find them.